Alright guys, welcome. My name's TheNoahness and I'm back. It's been a while, but I've got a new series started. It's going to be Nostalgia with Noah. Now,
add your name to the guest book.
Now, in Nostalgia with Noah, I'm going to be going back in time to games from the Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Nintendo 64, all over the games of old, the retro games, the games full of nostalgia. And I'm going to show them to you guys. Back before streaming was a thing, there was a giant pile of gems that I would like to explore and show. Games that I thought were really, really good that maybe I don't think a lot of people talk about, but are worth looking at. This first game is called Shivers. It's from 1995 from a company called Sierra. It's a point-and-click, kind of scary horror game. If you like good atmosphere, campy audio, scary visuals, and a just metric ton of puzzles, and this is a game for you, and I think you'd enjoy it a lot. A lot of it's randomized, so every game, every playthrough is a little bit different, and it's just fun. Let's get right into it. Yes.
This dare was kind of your idea, you know. But I'm glad I'm me out here and not you in there.
I think I've heard those same loving words before. Like the time you guys dared me to spend the night at that cemetery. You know, if you die in the museum tonight, I'll make sure she gives a eulogy at your funeral. We never would have made you spend the night here if you hadn't have talked about this place so much.
Yeah, we thought you'd been kind of, well, obsessed, thinking you hearing voices and stuff coming
So if I
from
talked
the
about a
museum
restaurant,
and
would y'all
all.
make me stay there instead?
Too weird for me.
Hey, you know, maybe they're the voices of those kids who disappeared 15 years ago.
Right, the police never found the bodies. Or the killer.
Yeah, and my sister, you know, Julie, the one in college, says Professor Windlenut went insane.
Professor
Viciously
Windlenut.
murdered them and then buried their bodies in the basement of the museum.
Uh-huh.
Well, what if he's hiding in that creepy museum right now, just waiting for another victim?
Yeah, and the ghost of his victims are calling out, warning you.
Ring, ring. Hello?
Accidentally skipped the rest of that. Basically, your friends leave you at this museum because you talked about it a lot. And they thought it would be a good idea for you to go there. People have gone missing, and it's supposed to be scary and creepy, but they're like, hey man, get in there. Go find out what's going on. So we're going to find out what's going on. So this is a point-and-click game, so movement is like that, static backgrounds, and a lot of clicking. We're going to try to get inside this museum. Sir Hubert Windlenut. Hubert. Joseph P. Whitney. What's a voice for a Joseph P. Whitney? Dear Hubert, the firm of Whitney and Son has handled the legal financial affairs of the Wildernuts for 256 years, always in a discreet and trustworthy manner. In the tradition of Whitney and Son, James, my eldest, will continue serving you when I retire from the firm in a fortnight. He and Jeffrey often played together as children, so I'm sure you remember him. James and I were pleased to attend Jeffrey's wedding in London last April, and were surprised not to see you there. The Countess responded quite bitterly when asked about you. I tried to smooth things over by making a sizable financial endowment to the happy couple on your behalf. My cat keeps playing with my mouse. Get out of here, bud. You're very cute. It puzzles your family and old friends as to why we have not heard from you for over 4 years, but we assume the museum keeps you busy. I will not bother you further. However, in my absence, if the firm fails to live up to your expectations, let me know personally. Yeah. The number 29. Everything in this game is a clue to something else. If there's a picture, if there's a note, if there's a letter, if there's a recording, everything leads to somewhere. A lot of this game is randomized, which is really interesting. When we get to the point of the game, here in a second. I'll explain more.
Welcome to Professor Windlenot's Museum of the Strange and Unusual. Unfortunately, the museum is still preparing exhibits and hopes you will visit when we open sometime in the near future.
I love the way that guy enunciates words. Because he says every single letter of every single word, and it's just fantastic. So, we got gray rainbow. Everybody remember gray rainbow, because I'm going to ask y'all, we're going to have a pop quiz on what color goes to what symbol here in a few minutes. Green ammonite, green shell, gray rainbow, green shell. Brown plate. White swirly thing. And a lake we gotta get across. In real life, you could just walk across those stones and it wouldn't even be an issue. But in video game world, you have to do a puzzle for everything. So we got the white on top, black on bottom. Interesting that there's white on bottom and black on top. Let's try to figure that out, right? As a kid, this stumped me. Couldn't do it. I was bad at this game. Puzzles were not my forte. Figuring stuff out, not my forte. My car, not a forte. But now I'm pretty good. Also gray. I'm going to call this clay. That's clay color, is circle cross. So if we go back and find our orders, we got gray rainbow, green shell, white swirly thing, brown plate, clay cross thing. We've got all these colors here. I don't know where orange is, but if I found the rest of them, then orange doesn't really matter. Brown plate. White swirly thing. Clay cross. Gray rainbow. And green shell. Which means orange has to be Star Trek symbol. Alright. Let's get in there. Let's get in this creepy ass place. The sounds in this game are so crisp. They're so good. The sound design's crazy. I want to get Jacksepticeye to play this game just because he loves sound design, and I think he would really be impressed with this game. At least in that way. So I have taken to, the way I played this game when I was a kid was I took lots of notes, because walkthroughs and stuff weren't as available, and so I've been taking notes on puzzles so I can actually pull them off. Oh. This guy did not make it. Is that Professor Windlenot? It's got his, looks like his hat. I don't know what this G is, or if it's a worm. Like I said, everything is a puzzle. Everything has pieces of puzzles and clues to puzzles. There's like 2 or 3 puzzles in this book alone. Let's get inside this museum, shall we? That's the warning sound. That means bad stuff's gonna happen. In this particular case, we can't avoid it, so we're just gonna get up in there. You see that guy? That's rude. Very rude of him to do that. This green bar is your life bar. He took a little bit of it. That's not nice. We're gonna find out why. And then make that blobby blue water guy pay.
Ah! 15 long years in this prison. You, get out! Do not meddle in things beyond your understanding. You will pay for your curiosity. You are in grave danger. They are so evil. Already some of your life essence has been stolen. I was too old, not fast enough. The Ixupi are so evil. It is imperative to find all the vessels, because it seems only when they are united with their talismans do they have any power. My plan was to use them on the Ixupi before any more of them escape into the world. I believe they cannot resist the vessels as long as they're with the talismans and you approach directly. This vessel here is of no use to you, however. Its Ixupi is the one who robbed me of my essence. And he has escaped into the world. And they've ruined my museum!
Alright, now hear me out. That professor's been stuck in that jar for 15 years. And all he's worried about is, one, that he died, two, that there's another person there that could also die, and three, that the scary monsters ruined his museum. Priorities, man. I don't know. So these are the talismans, or the lids. These are the jars, or the jars. And the whole point of the game is to capture those scary evil monsters. Each one's an element. Each jar has a symbol that shows which element. I believe this one is stone. You have to do puzzles, reunite the lids with the pots, and then use the pots to find and and capture the bad guys. The bad guys are all scary elemental demons based on different elements. You got fire, water, ash, tar, wax, a bunch of weird ones. Crystal. Every elevator in the game has that kind of a puzzle, and they get a lot harder. A lot more squares and a lot more just crazy stuff. I try not to use the elevators too much in this game because of it, honestly. There we have it, all of that, and we made it into the museum. Exhibition forums to search for Atlantis? Bimini, the lost city of Atlantis, may yet be found if Dr. John Poyermo and Sir Hubert T. Windlenot have their way. This talks about Atlantis and how they try to go there and try to find it. This is a letter from Windlenot's wife, basically saying, "Science or me, baby." Windlenot chose science. I did mention this game, lots of random stuff. This particular thing is not random. That particular lid, the lid for the ash Ixupi, always there. And I think that the pot is in the same spot. That it doesn't move around. Most of them do, though. Each puzzle will get you one of the two pieces, and they're always kind of in different spots. And you have to find them, mix them, match them. Well, don't mix them, just match them. And then go capture evil spirits. Let's listen to what Dr. Windlenot has to say.
30th of September 1980. Returning from Africa, I discovered something profoundly disturbing. Someone has been here. Furniture has been tipped over, and the book Egyptian Hieroglyphics Explained, not in its place in the library, but face down here here on the office floor.
Not its place in the library.
And oddly,
But
one of
face
the
down.
pages is torn out. And I feel the presence of... I'm not sure. I must investigate the second floor. The puzzles. When I created them, I never stopped to think they would be an obstacle in the event of some terrible occurrence. The Ixupi. Someone has released them from their vessels. Never has anything been so evil. A name
I love the way he
written in the
talks.
lift. Merrick. Who is he?
Never has
One of the
anything
missing
been so
youngsters here in my
evil.
museum? If so, are they both here? Can they still be alive? Evil entities attacking from everywhere, robbing me of my life essence. I can't seem to find the right vessel for each Ixupi. Without it, they can't be captured. Without it, I am doomed. Get back! Get back! Get out of my museum! Oh, I wish I never brought you here.
Poor guy. I feel bad for Dr. Wendell now, because in a lot of scary things, horror movies, horror games, you know, you've got friends, you've got people that are there with you that can kind of like take on the evil stuff with you. He doesn't have that. He's a scared museum guy in a museum of his own making, full of puzzles of his own making, surrounded by scary elemental super demons that will eat him and proceed to eat him. There's that warning music again. The Ash Boy is in there, but I'm not going to mess with him right now. We're just going to continue on, try to find us some jars and some lids, so we can, you know, capture a bunch of evil spirits, because that's what we're doing here. Possible basilisk. Bone fragments found in Nigeria, 1974. We've got all these numbers. So, as I stated, definitely puzzle solving, because there's a bunch of numbers. So let's try opening the ones that were on the paper, right? So we got 241, 342A, 65B, 109, 147, 490. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That didn't do anything. Let's try opening the ones that aren't on the piece of paper. Classic video game troubleshooting 101. Look at that. It worked. It's a jar. That's what a door is when it's a little bit open and no longer a door. It's a jar. Alright, let's get out of here. That is a place I'm not going to go right now. That's an elevator. I don't like elevators in this game. We will go in that elevator later, but for right now... Elevator later. For right now, we're going to go check out the rest of the museum. It's a pretty interesting museum. Lots of cool music, lots of scary stuff to look at. It's a shark. It's a person. It's a snake. It's another snake. None of those matter, it's just this middle one. So with the jars and the lids and the pots, you always just have to look at the base of the lid and see where that's going to fit into each jar. That way you can kind of match them up. Otherwise, there's literally nothing that shows what goes with what. I'm going to keep this one with me for right now, though, because I think I can capture that guy. And we're going to capture that guy. First, we're going to do a couple of the little things, see some more puzzles, and see what else there is to, you know, check out. Oh, that looks like the head of the jar that I just found. So maybe flower snake is the water exuding lid. I don't know. For now, I'm just going to think that that's probably true. The library is a wealth of knowledge if you know where to look. I know look there. That's the wax guy. I'm not gonna mess with the wax guy right now. This shows all of these symbols for each of the different exupies. So we got fire, water, ashes, wax, which is that one behind me. Maybe I'll let him attack me so we can see what the wax one looks like. Thunder and lightning, cloth, trees or wood, metal, crystals, earth, jade, tar, stone. Stone is the one that killed Windlenot. These are all... I actually know where that puzzle is. These are all things for a puzzle in the different part of the museum. This tells, like, I think the history of the Exupi and like where they came from and why they're here and why they do what they do, and that's some cool solar system stuff. We'll go over all of this stuff. We'll look at all this when it matters, like when we need it for whatever puzzle it's connected to. Huh. All right, y'all want to see the? Comment down below if you want to see the wax Exupi. He's blobby and gross. And he's gonna stay right there. We're gonna ignore him now that I've let him take some of my awesome life essence. Another jar. That is a weird top. I definitely don't have the lid for that one. I'm gonna keep this ash one because I think I know where the ash bottom is. No, you don't get more of my life essence, wax boy, sorry. Alright, let's go check out upstairs. This is the room where all of the Exupi are kept, or where they were kept before Merrick and Beth decided to come in and mess stuff up. The lesson learned is don't sneak into scary museums and mess with things you shouldn't mess with. Especially if it says specifically, don't mess with me. The Sphinx, possessor of lost wisdom and guardian over the city of the dead. The Sphinx stands watch over the greatest tombs ever built, the pyramids. Search and you may learn wisdom from these ancient lips. Search. Give me some wisdom.
The heretics that lay beyond have driven out all of the gods save Aiden. So begins Egypt's decline. If thou art wise, thou shalt know that the names of this pharaoh and his queen be placed forever in shame on the columns of Ra.
On the columns of Ra. Hey look, it's the columns of Ra.
Care to refresh your memory?
So let's find out who I need to put on the columns of Ra. Wife of Ramses. Her mummy found buried in a sarcophagus over 10 feet high, which means she was 10 feet tall. I think it's these guys. Tried to introduce monotheistic worship of the god Aten unsuccessfully into Egypt and began its downfall. Downfall sounds like decline. Both of them mean down. So this is probably, let's figure, we got the Knife River. I'm just going to try to remember things in small portions. Knife River, bird, Ball River. Knife River, bird, Ball River. And then we got antenna. Antenna knives fishing. Antenna knives fishing. Knife River, Ball River, burb. Knife. Knife, bird, ball. Knife. Bird. Ball. Double knives. Antenna. Girl fishing. What was that? I thought I saw something move over there, but there's nothing that moves in this game until you do something, which is scarier, actually. Go ahead. It's a little person. Oh. I'm gonna write down where these are. I don't know. What is this? Sarcophagus? Sarcophagus is person. Head. Curse of Anubis. O wretched soul who disturbs his eternal rest may exist in despair for all eternity. Anubis, chief deity to whom prayers at the Egyptian burial are made, was the originator of embalming and funerary rites and used to invoke the curse of the tomb you were about to enter. I don't think there's anything here. This looks like a spot that the cloth demon can show up. Which is crappy, because that's very much a trap. If this museum was a real-life haunted house, I would want to visit it, and I'd be absolutely terrified the entire time. I hate it. Just being... This is one of those, like, environments in a video game that is unsettling no matter where you are. There's no happy part. They're all just terrible to be in. All the time. Looking past me while I'm playing a scary game. A sickle. I don't know what the point of that is.
Man creates in order to improve his existence. However, many of man's early inventions became lost. During the Dark Ages, an inventor whose creation seemed a little too ingenious could be accused of collaborating with Satan and consequently burned at the stake. Or worse.
What's worse than being burned at the stake? Okay, like, I know that there's worse things. Alright, don't come at me with Spanish Inquisition. I know. I've looked into it. I've seen scary things. Being burned at the stake is pretty terrible. I imagine. Astronomy is the study of the ancient cultures, beliefs in the heavens. That's all I got. That's all I got. No rhythm at all. Okay. Alright, so this was in that book, right? So let's take a look.
Care to refresh your memory?
I do care to refresh my memory. This one, perhaps? Yes, okay, alright. This is where I gotta draw a little bit. Bear with me. These are gonna be the crudest drawings, cruder than the crude drawings that are already right there. We got sun, person with hat. A big old spaceship. I'll show you when I'm done, so you can see how awesome I am at, you know, this. That's Nazca. Alright. So now we got other spaceship pod with happy man doing a Superman pose. And fire. And then dancing maraca. No, that's definitely like a shell or something. Dancing maraca alien boy. And a circle with a sun in the middle. But not a sun with a circle around it. That's Uzbekistan. Then we've got mother alien arms out. I say mother because look at those hips. You know what I'm saying? Bam. With little, and then big old circle with sun, but there's dots in the middle of or inside the circle. Another spaceship, not the mothership though. This one is just a regular spaceship. Less cool than the mothership, still pretty cool. That's for Mohenjo. And then we've got really intricate circle with weird spade cross situation, whatever is going on there. Circles on the outside. We got less cool spaceship than the less cool spaceship already. With pine cone underneath and fire. And then we've got dancing guy with the sun for dancing guy with the sun for a head. And that's Chang'an. Chang. Holy crap. Okay. Look at this. Look at this. This right. See this? All of this right here. That's how I'm figuring that out. I know. I'm an artist. I'm a gamer and an artist. Okay. This is ugly. This is terrible. All right. So we got mothership. Most of these are just different enough that I didn't do a very good job. Uzbekistan is... Okay. Then I got Queen from Mohenjo. Queen dots inside, and that. Oh yeah, that last one done somehow. Yeah. What is that? Scary freaking werewolf head, dude. Still taking this one. Dang it, I have to have like a whole other piece of paper to write down where these guys are actually at. So we've got Sarko is human head. Spaceship is werewolf head. Let's move on to the next room. See what else there is in this museum. Find some more pots and jars and heads and stuff. That seems like a trap to me. That is a trap. Cloth Boy isn't gonna get me today. Sorry, Cloth Boy. That's definitely one. That might be one also. I don't know. Or is it you? Somewhere there's one of the exubi, and I'm not here for it, so I'm gonna keep on keeping on. Oh, that looks like an Anubis. Okay, what is that? That's a. I already have a sarcophagus. That one's gonna have to be coffin. Anubis head in the coffin. Okay. That was the wood one trying to set a freaking trap for me. But you're not gonna get me, wood guy or cloth guy. Oh no, I left... Bear with me for a second. I left the one I actually want to carry around back down here. So we're figuring this out. We're moving through. We're making progress. There's a puzzle I really, really hate. I could not figure it out when I was a kid. Had to use a walkthrough every single time. It's this son of a bitch right here. All of those have to go in there in some fashion. And I always thought, you know, just thinking from a logical perspective, you got blue, yellow, green, and pink. So any one of these that is able to emulate that, like, none of these. Blue, yellow, green, pink. This one, for instance, can go right in the middle. And you think that that'd be a good starting point to figure out the rest of them? It's not. So this is a pink, yellow, blue. Let's look for pink, yellow, blue. There literally isn't a pink, yellow, blue, so that one being in the middle, already not good. It's just time consuming. I can figure it out, and I'll probably figure it out on another stream of this game, but right now I'm just kind of walking around trying to find some cool stuff.
Man has taken it upon himself to penalize his fellow man for every conceivable offense, many trivial. Historically, singing insulting songs in Rome, injuring a cat in Egypt, and even selling bad beer in Babylon could bring the death penalty.
Injuring a cat in Egypt I kind of get, but selling bad beer, someone just kills you for it, that's wild. Babylon doesn't sound like a place I want to. This visual right here, when I was young, scared the hell out of me. I hated being in this room. It was like my least favorite room of all the rooms you could play in this game. And that sound also. Historically, the search for the perfect hang was a heated topic. Arguments ranged over where the rope, or where on the neck to put the noose, how thick the rope should be, and especially how far the body should drop once the trapper was sprung. It seemed that 14 feet 5 inches was ideal until people were decapitated as they dropped, their heads severed by the rope. The drop in this exhibit, however, is only 10 feet. First I thought, 14.5. That's not correct, right? This drop, 10 feet. 10 feet, a foot is 12 inches, 10 times 12. 120. I'm a genius. What do we got here? The snake top. That was snake head. I'm not finding any jars, I'm only finding lids, which is kind of bad actually, because then I can't complete anything if I just have a bunch of lids everywhere. This place is crazy. The Phoenician puzzle. Found in a tomb in Iran, this ancient game is supplied as an entertainment during the departed's trip to the underworld. You can conquer this ancient game while you're still alive. If you carefully watch the score, 10 points are given for a correct symbol in the proper position and 1 point for a symbol in the wrong position. You've all probably seen this puzzle before. I think there's like cell phone games and stuff of it. It's pretty crazy. You pull this, those turn into random symbols. Don't know what they are. And you have to figure out what they are by process of elimination, basically. So I got 10 points, one of them's in the right position. One of these hands is in the right spot. I have guessed, and it's this boy right here. So all of the other symbols have to be something else. That's even worse. I did even worse. Okay. Oh, I said the thing. So the skull is probably the other one. No, so it'd be skull, but it's in... The skull has to be in the right position, so let's say that. 20, hand and the skull are both the correct ones. Oh, the hand and the skull. Alright, so hand and skull are correct. So let's go donkey. Alright, no, that's not right. Donkey, bird thing, lizard thing. There's 2 in the right spot. So the skull's not the right spot. But this one is. So, lizard, hand. Other lizard. Are in the right spot. It's for sure lizard, it's for sure hand. There's no way I can get the other 2, it's impossible. Lizard, hand. Lizard, hand, bird, lizard, donkey. So yeah, you keep doing that, and eventually you get it right. No matter what. Alright, I'm gonna skip this one for now. That's a crazy puzzle though, it's really, really cool. The music in this game is insane. The sound design in this game is insane. Oh, my cat's food just dropped. He's so happy now. I have a lot of puzzles to come back and figure out. For right now, I think we're gonna go try to... What is that for? Where's there an elevator around here? Oh. I don't want to go that way. I'm gonna go try to capture the Ash Exubi, I think. And if I can capture him, that's probably gonna be where episode 1 of this ends. But, you know, I hope y'all enjoyed it so far. It's creepy. Creepy game, good atmosphere. I love the music, I love the sounds, I love the puzzles. They're all, like, just hard enough to be difficult, but not hard enough to be impossible. Except that weird wire machine one, I still think that one's impossible. I hate it. Merrick Campbell. You don't know if the sounds are from demon monsters or just dinosaurs. That sound is so loud, it's so loud. Okay, so like the beginning, when you get into the office, the ash lid is always there and the ash pot is always here. At least in my experience so far, those two have always been very much the same. That's the Earth Boy, and I'm not messing with the Earth Boy. I'm gonna go find the Ash Boy. One more thing we're going to check out, since we did find Merrick's inhaler, maybe we should go find Merrick. Oh, I haven't even opened this. When I was a kid, I thought this was such a hard puzzle. I could not figure it out either. Now I'm just like, oh, look, these only have one position they could possibly be in.
Death comes uneasily to the mind of man. Burial customs throughout the world arise from the belief that the survivors can secure life after death for the deceased. You will find here that man has conceived of many ways to honor the dead.
That's such a trick that leaves a room meant to get you killed. July 10th, 19... Oh, that music, though. Hold on a second. I think the Ash guy is actually right here. Bring it on, baby! Get in the jar, sucker! Get in the flask! That's one down. 9 more to go. The Ash one has been captured. And when they get captured, the jar goes into your inventory, and you don't have to worry about trying to carry that shit around anymore. Nor do you have to take it back to the setting place, I don't think. But he's done. He's gone for it. I'm no longer scared of piles of ash. We're gonna end this with a bang. Little story from our boy Merrick. Merrick and Beth are the 2 kids that got stuck in here and, you know, allegedly died. So, July 10th, 1980, New York City. Since I'm moving tomorrow, I've decided to record my thoughts on this journey. Now, I read the view of the museum from my apartment window, but Dad says he needs a less stressful job. I will miss the view. I can't read. July 15th, 1980. Well, I'm not exactly excited about the small town. It does have its advantages over New York City. The air is very clean, so my telescope will work great, and it's quiet. For Dad's sake, I'll try to think of more. This town is really awesome museum. Professor Windlenaught's Museum of the Strange and Unusual. The sign says it's opening soon. I can't wait. Dad says the museum will never open. I don't believe it. He says Professor Windlenaught once taught at the same college Dad is teaching in, but now he's some kind of eccentric. Not looking forward to school next week. I finally saw the professor. He looks really cool, like he just got off an archaeology day. School is as bad as I thought. Everyone here is a bunch of hicks. This girl, Beth, who's kinda cute and says she knows Professor Windlenaught. I'm not sure I believe her. Dad says he's a recluse and not likely to know a high school girl. Turns out that Beth really doesn't know the professor. Just a lot about him. She says he has some secret way to get into the museum, but nobody's figured it out yet. I followed him home from the post office yesterday and saw him go into the museum. She was right. He didn't go into the front door. He went into the gazebo and did something that made a little bridge come up. Then crossed the bridge and went to the ground. Cool. Dad said I had to get a job. Bummer. He said kids in small towns get in trouble without jobs, so I'm working at the bookstore. Good news, I followed the professor again and I figured out the layout of the museum grounds. I think I could figure out how to get in. Beth has given me all sorts of advice. I think she likes me. She keeps hanging around. It's hard to follow someone else when you're being followed by, or feel followed yourself. Beth keeps hanging around. I hate it when Dad thinks she's my girlfriend, invites her over for dinner. This job has turned out to be okay after all. I finally met the professor face to face. He came into the bookstore to see if we had a book on some African tribe. He seemed to recognize me. I asked him lots of questions. He was pretty cool but secretive. He kept staring at me. He did say he was going to Africa tomorrow. With him gone, I'm going to try to get in the museum. I have most of it figured out. Should I get rid of Beth or take her with me? She is hard to get rid of. Tonight's the night. Dad is attending some kind of lecture. I told him we're going to a movie in case he comes home. We means I've decided to take Beth with me. She might come in handy, and is smart, and she has a rope ladder, which she would use to get over the wall. She says she uses it to sneak out at night. Leave the house, climb over the wall, raise stone step bridge, enter Stonehenge, explore museum, home, Dad comes home. No big deal. This is a very odd museum. There's a lot of rooms we can't even get into, and puzzles everywhere. We found this one exhibit that had some ancient pots. There's a warning outside not to disturb them. Beth said she didn't believe the sign and opened one of them anyway. There was a pretty cool noise, and I felt like cold wind coming out of the pot. I thought I saw great electrical charges coming out of it, but Beth said it probably was from negatively charged ions or something. I helped her open the rest. It's pretty neat. Something horrible happened. Grotesque things coming from everywhere. I can't find Beth. We got separated. There's so many secret passages. She could be anywhere. What are those things? Beth is dead. They found her body in the basement. Those pots, they're not in the exhibit anymore. I kept finding them all over the museum. I think I have to find them and use them on those creatures. If only I could find a way out. All the doors are locked. Maybe they won't find me here. Something found him. poor Merrick was found. But I will avenge Merrick, and I will find all of the Exupi in the same way they found him. Only all over the museum and not just in a little lion statue. So there's one of them. It's one of the kids, and one of the Exupi captured. I'm gonna go back to a little hub. And that's where we're gonna end episode 1 of Shivers. Again, this is a game by Sierra. It was made in 1995. Scary point and click puzzle game. Very, very fun. If you like this at all, throw down that like button. If you have friends that like scary games or puzzle games or are intrigued by older games, share this around. I want to try to get this nostalgia with Noah thing off the ground. I'm going to go on, play some other games. I'm going to go back to the Super Nintendo. Just kind of play some games that everybody knows are good and games that I personally thought were good, so I can shed some light on them. It's going to be a fun time. If you liked this video, I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. And I just want to remind y'all that just because it's retro doesn't mean we have to let go. That's the Noahness, and I'll see you guys